WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. Domestic violence will not become one of the grounds for divorce in Mississippi. A bill that would have added it died in committee today. Republican Andy Gibson is chairman of the committee. Some lawmakers in opposition to the bill have said they want the state to encourage married couples to stay together. Many supporters of the measure say the state has outdated laws that put low-income people at a disadvantage, particularly victims of domestic violence. Mississippi's divorce rate is consistently ranks near the highest in the nation. It's a deadline day at the Capitol. General bills must get out of the second chamber's committees. A New Albany convenience store clerk says a half-naked man attacked her as she was closing the store. Troy Michael Jones is charged with trespass, simple assault, sexual battery, and indecent exposure. New Albany Police Chief Chris Robertson says an employee at a Be Quick store told investigators a half-naked man tried to pull her in the bathroom. He reportedly didn't have any clothes on from the waist down. The victim escaped and called police. Robertson says Jones was later identified and arrested for the February 21st incident. Jones remains in jail. There are 2 drug arrests in Monroe County today. The 2 men are facing drug charges, 35-year-old Timothy Cheney and 51-year-old Bobby Long. They remain in the Monroe County Detention Center tonight. Cheney and Long were arrested in the Athens community. Meanwhile, 2 men remain in jail after a weekend shooting in Bruce. 33-year-old Willie Malone is charged with aggravated assault, and 28-year-old Dennis Hall is charged with accessory. Bruce Police Chief Stan Evans says there was an ongoing argument on Facebook about a woman before the shooting. A car was hit 4 times after the shotgun blast on Saturday afternoon. No one was injured in that shooting. 2 Oxford men are arrested after a home invasion turns violent. 27-year-old Justin Hilliard and 22-year-old DeMarcus Gibson are charged with burglary home invasion. This past Sunday, Oxford police were called about a man who was assaulted inside his home in the Pequees Road area. The victim told officers Hilliard and Gibson forced their way inside and hit him multiple times in the face with a handgun. Police say this incident was connected to an argument that happened over the weekend. Hilliard and Gibson were given a bond of $100,000 each. Yesterday, we reported that a Caledonia High School teacher resigned after allegations of sexual misconduct with students. Lowndes County detectives say they learned of the alleged incidents this past Friday. No names have been released at this time and no charges have been filed. It's unclear if any charges will be filed. However, attorney Jeff Hosford says before a teacher can be charged, a probable cause hearing has to take place in front of a circuit court judge. It's to protect the teacher from false allegations.
The design is to keep people from going to the judge or going to the prosecutor and saying something that's untrue, and then somebody's name being ruined or something happening where the teacher's taken out of their position when really nothing happened.
The circuit court judge decides if there is probable cause to issue an arrest warrant. Hosford says once a hearing takes place, then charges can be made against the individual. No hearing has been scheduled in the Caledonia investigation. Time now to turn our attention to weather. Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson joins us with a first look. Keith?
Hey Joey, right now it is balmy out there, 72 degrees in Columbus. That's our Alpha Insurance camera in downtown. 72 in Tupelo, 78 Louisville. Widespread 70s here. We are dry, no issues for this evening. A little bit cooler later on though, perhaps upper 60s. Winds continue from the south this evening. Big time storms erupting to our west in the Little Rock area, and these storms go all the way to Chicago. Now, the greatest risk for severe weather tonight will be to our northwest. You can see that right here, but tomorrow morning we'll have some storms around here. More on that threat in just a few minutes.
Just when it appeared the Okolona School District would escape state consolidation plans, lawmakers included on a bill today. The House Education Committee amended Senate Bill 2461 to include Okolona schools. The original version of the legislation only included the Houston and Chickasaw County school districts. Representative Toby Barker of Hattiesburg says Okolona's small enrollment and poor academic performance make it a prime for consolidation. If passed, all 3 school districts in Chickasaw County would merge administrative offices by 2020. Okolona has threatened to ask the U.S. Justice Department to block any merger based on a desegregation order. All 3 school districts oppose the consolidation. Mississippi consistently ranks last among states in economic studies, and a recent report shows things may be getting worse for women in the Magnolia State. A recent survey by Wallet Hub ranks the state 50th in the category of women's economic and social well-being and 48th in women's health and safety. MUW Professor of Women's Studies, Dr. Bridget Pichel, says if we are to see improvements, they may be coming from younger generations.
Students today in their 20s and 30s understand, I think, more of how difficult it is to live in today's economy, and they're willing to work hard, they're willing to be active politically, and they understand that in some ways you can't run away from these problems.
Alabama ranked 49th in the same study. Some North Mississippi students strike up a cross-country conversation with a class half a country away when we come back.
You're watching WCBI's News at 6 with Joey Barnes.
Welcome back, everyone. It's no secret towns in other states share the same names, but what happens when those 2 towns decide to team up to exchange similarities and differences? WCBI's Selena Schaefer takes us to Amory, Mississippi, where city officials virtually meet with students from Amory, Wisconsin.
These 2 towns might be spelt differently and might have different populations. However, they're finding out through their differences they have a lot more in common than they thought.
We were amazed at the similarities. We were amazed at the years. We were founded the same year. We're similar clocks, similar looking buildings, similar size. We liked all that. We were excited about that. And the kids have really taken off with it.
Michael Simonson is a 5th grade teacher in Amory, Wisconsin. He wanted his students to think and see outside the box. Simonson contacted Amory Mayor Brad Blaylock and hopes to become sister towns. His class exchanged letters and cards to Blaylock and other city officials. On Tuesday, Simonson's class met the North Mississippi towns officials via FaceTime.
Just reaching out to those, the other communities in different parts of the country. Now the kids kind of have experienced that in a way, and just now traveling through your Amory on the FaceTime, it really means a lot to us. It puts more ownership in our learning, I think.
Blaylock took the class on a virtual tour of the town and introduced them to both the fire and police chiefs.
Very excited to see how excited their children are about experiencing our Amory. We're proud of Amory, and we're happy that somebody else seems to be proud of our Amory as well.
The children even surprised Police Chief Ronnie Bowen with a $500 donation for the police department, thanks to a fundraiser they had selling Amory to Amory t-shirts.
We are going to give the other half to your police department.
A lot of times we struggle with our differences, but most times when we talk to one another, we do find that we have a lot more similarities with one another than we do differences. And I think it's important that even when we do have differences, that we can work through those and find those similarities that we can all get along with.
Now, Mr. Simonson is going to be coming to Amory, Mississippi next week and take a walking tour of the town with Mayor Blaylock just to see exactly what Amory, Mississippi has that's different from Amory, Wisconsin. So make sure to stay tuned to WCBI next Tuesday for that story. For now, in Amory, Selena Schaefer, WCBI News.
All right, thanks, Selena. Columbus firefighters are sharpening their skills this week. They're focusing on search and rescue. WCBI's Jory Talley joins us live in Columbus with more of the reason behind this week's training. Jory.
Joey, so far in 2017, Columbus Fire and Rescue has worked 2 missing person cases, which shows you just how much those search and rescue efforts play out. Columbus Fire and Rescue are always on call, and training keeps them ahead of the game and prepared for any kind of emergency.
These map reading skills and line search skills that we're practicing today, we'll use those in every discipline, like our dive rescue, even those other areas of technical certification require these skills to be proficient in as well.
The search and rescue training is in real time, like an actual call would play out.
Getting the information they need to start a search, where the person's last known point was, going out, doing the search, finding the victim, doing them, if they need medical attention, taking care of them medical-wise, and get them back home safe.
The drill comes on the heels of an actual search and rescue at Probst Park after a child wandered away from a building across the street.
Kids may go to playgrounds and things, so this is kind of a base on that based directly on that situation, where we'll come over here and kind of go through what we did last week and where we might could improve, or areas that we did really good at.
Captain Wes Mills says skills are practiced every few months, and there's one thing always taken away from it.
They take away a confidence is the main thing. It's being able to go on scene and know that you know what you're doing, and be able to jump right in and start working on finding these people that may be in dire need.
The Columbus team is normally the lead agency in all Lowndes County on search and rescue efforts, and even take them to other regions of Mississippi.
We've been on the coast, Katrina, we've been to Louisville, doing the tornado in Louisville, Smithfield, just wherever they call us, we go.
Training will be taking place over the next 2 days, and when we were with them earlier today, some of them had to leave to go on a call, which shows you that training doesn't stop them from getting the job done. Live in Columbus, Jory Talley, WCBI News. Joey.
All right, thanks a lot, Joy, for that live report. Well, Mississippi State University celebrates 139 years today. To commemorate the event, the university's Alumni Association organized a birthday party for the school. Students, faculty, and visitors were all treated to cake and the university's own brand of ice cream. Organizers say it's a great way to honor the school's legacy.
And I sure hope that was buttercream on that cake right there. All right, a few peeks at the blue sky today. A lot of cloud cover around the region today. Tomorrow morning into the early afternoon, a chance for some severe weather. High winds the primary threat. We'll check it out after the break.
Your first alert weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
All right, friends, on Wednesday we are warm, we are windy. We're looking at temperatures in the upper 60s at 8 o'clock. By noon, mid-70s, perhaps low 70s in the wake of the storms that will be moving on through here. Now, from mid-morning through mid-afternoon, we will have the chance for some strong to severe storms. Now, we had some rain and storms around the region this morning. We got rid of those, and we've enjoyed a cloudy and very warm afternoon. This is our Alpha Insurance time lapse from downtown Columbus. You can see right there how we have been dry for the last couple of hours here in Columbus, and very warm. 72 in the Friendly City, 72 in Tupelo and Starkville, 76 in Macon, 74 in Winona. Across the region, we are warm everywhere, widespread 70s. You factor in the moisture, we got dew points well into the mid and upper 60s all the way into the Great Lakes. So this is an extremely warm and humid air mass here, and that's fueling some pretty strong storms. Look at that complex of storms near Little Rock that has been producing some very large hail. The areas outlined in the yellow here, these are tornado watch boxes, and the individual polygons are actual severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings. And these storms are rumbling through Chicago now into southern Michigan right now. So this is a pretty big outbreak of severe weather. And just looking back at the last hour in time, with our shear rate product here in northern Illinois and Wisconsin and Iowa, you can see the tracks of some of these rotating storms that have been producing these reports of large hail and even tornadoes up there across Illinois. I want to show you the low-level wind field here, and the brighter colors illustrate where we have the fastest wind. As we go throughout the overnight hours, look at this little stream, this little ribbon of fast-moving low-level wind just to our northwest. This is really going to fuel some of these storms later on tonight, but that is northwest of our area. We still have some of this low-level wind energy through tomorrow morning. It will zip off to the northeast tomorrow afternoon. So if we can tap into some of that, we may see some strong to severe storms around here. Once again, wind damage the main threat. Can't rule out a spin-up tornado, perhaps a little bit of hail. The timing from mid to late morning, about 10 o'clock in the west, to about 3 or 4 in the east across our eastern counties. Here's Futurecast. Enjoy that balmy evening out there right now. A few showers possible during the night, but here's tomorrow morning about 7:30. You can see the line of storms just off to our west with this cold front coming on in. Along and ahead of that front will be the prime region for some of these strong storms. Now, it doesn't look like we're going to see a lot of severe weather here tomorrow, but the potential is there. It should be out of here by mid-afternoon. There's a slight risk for severe weather for all of us, but a little bit more of an enhanced risk just along and northeast of I-22. So our northeastern counties from about noon to about 3 o'clock, this could be the prime zone for some of the strongest storms. We'll just wait and see what develops. But mid-60s for tonight here in northeast Mississippi, mid-70s for our highs tomorrow. Here's our 7-day forecast. You can see we're looking at temperatures cooling down into low 60s Thursday and Friday, perhaps a freeze Thursday night or Friday night. Gorgeous weather, Joey, for the weekend.
All right, thanks, Keith. Coming up, Ole Miss returns to the field for the first time this spring. Hear what Hugh Freeze had to say at his spring practice press conference. Next in sports.
WCBI Sports with Robbie Donahoe is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
Spring practice has kicked off today in Oxford as Ole Miss looks to put the NCAA investigation behind them and look to what's going ahead on the field. Head coach Hugh Freeze has been impressed with his team's focus, and he hopes that will prove dividends in the future.
I love how our team has responded. I mean, they've probably been the greatest testimony and the greatest encouragement to of how to handle adversity, and they've been remarkable. And you know, watching their social media accounts and all the things that that they have to say about receiving some news that wasn't favorable for them, they've been incredible. It's they've been a do not blink, play the next play, control what you can control team, and it really tells me a lot about hopefully our leadership of the team for this coming season. Can't wait, obviously, to get out today and get started and see them on the field.
To the hardwood now, the Mississippi State women begin their run in the SEC tournament on Friday versus the LSU Ole Miss winner. It's been difficult for Hail State hoops to move past the loss to Tennessee on Sunday, and their head coach echoes that sentiment.
I love my fan base. I have a tremendous appreciation for them because I know how much we've grown it over the years. And I just was disappointed Sunday. I was disappointed in everything. And so you get a day, a reflection. You go speak at the Little Rock Tip-Off Club for lunch. You come back, you watch film, you regroup. Hey, I'm fired up and ready for the week. And you know, what's done is done. That's in the past. We got 2 new seasons in front of us, and one of them's this weekend. And so we got to get through the weekend, which if you can get through this tournament and win this one, you can win the next one.
And MSU had some postseason honors given to them today by the SEC. Victoria Vivians and Morgan William were all SEC first and second team respectively. Dominique Dillingham, all SEC defensive team, and Tierra McCowan, 6th Woman of the Year. That's your best player coming off the bench. She's been fabulous for the Bulldogs in a secondary role behind Chinwe Okorie. So congratulations to those MSU players on being named all SEC. Well, speaking of basketball, the MHSA Basketball State Tournament begins tomorrow in Jackson. We've We've got 20-plus area teams making the trip to the Metro, and we are going to be there for all the action and highlights. We start tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Wheeler going to take on Lee County. Then you see Ashland, West Lowndes, Holka, Shannon, and Macomb. Your Thursday schedule will feature Baldwin, Pine Grove, Okolona, and Amory. Now, there's Lafayette and Ripley also playing this day as well. Friday, you have Ingomar, Oxford, East Webster, and West Point all playing. And then Saturday is the big one. You have both Tupelo boys and girls playing. Starkville girls are undefeated. Boonville, Newside, they're all in action. And again, yours truly will be there in Jackson. We'll have it all for you, all the highlights and fun festivities coming up throughout the week on WCBI Sports. And lastly, over at Columbus Christian, earlier this morning, Kamari Whitfield signed the dotted line to continue his football career at Mississippi College next season. This past season, Whitfield led the Rams in rushing and receiving yards, also had 5 picks on defense. Choctaw signee says he's excited to be able to continue playing at the next level. Wants to put on some more weight over the summer and move his talents over to the defensive side of the football. So congratulations to Kamari on signing. Speaking of basketball stuff, South Lamar playing for the state championship on Thursday. That's coming up Thursday. Had the highlights last night. Keep an eye on the Stallions going this week.
Yeah, Thursday evening.
That's right.
All right, we'll be right back.
Big-time storms out there in Arkansas right now. There's a tornado watch, a couple of warnings out there, but those storms are not coming into our area. But there will be a line of storms tomorrow morning into the early afternoon. We'll be watching out for some storms. Could be strong to severe, damaging wind, the main threat. And then behind it, we're looking gorgeous Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The second fantastic weekend in a row.
Hey, you know, a lot of people... That's you can't beat that this
No,
time
perfect
of year.
timing.
It
Perfect
is.
timing right
It
there.
is, but I know you'll all be watching the storms.
We certainly will.
All right, thanks, Keith. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Have a great night.